Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another WikiTree Tour. Today, we're going to talk about challenges and events. I think that the way we were talking about it amongst ourselves the other day was every challenge is an event, but not all events are challenges. So we're going to kind of distinguish between the two, um, help you understand how to find the things that you are interested in working on, and explain a little bit about that and how much fun they are. Azure, I was going to say something and now I've forgotten what it was already. Is that typical? But we're glad to see everybody here. We've got people trickling in, so we'll just kind of chatter a little bit for just a minute or two until people get in and get settled.
Yes,
and as always, go ahead.
If you're watching, please comment in the chat so we know you're there, and share where you're from.
We always like to see who's here. We know that we have often have people who are watching that don't like to talk, and that's fine too. We're glad you're here too, but we love it when you say hello to us. So as I said, we're going to talk about challenges today, and I think probably our challenges and our community are what make WikiTree really unique. I don't think you'll find a community as active as our community is on WikiTree. And I don't think you'll find any other genealogy sites that do as much community building as we do. And we accomplish that through our events and our challenges. So I find that to just be fantastic. There's always something that you can dive into and work on with other people, and it just makes it a lot of fun. It improves the accuracy of the site, which is an ongoing process, of course.
Yeah.
And it really is a great way for our new members to get involved and learn how to use WikiTree, because I'm sure a bunch of you out there have climbed that learning curve and know that it can be challenging at first, and then once you get rolling, it's just a lot of fun. It's a fun way to do genealogy.
Yeah, that's how I really got more involved and learned more. Was from joining a challenge. So
yep,
when I first came to WikiTree, so that it's a really great way to learn, is to learn from other members and work together, collaborate.
Yep, I agree. I did the same thing. So first thing we wanted to do is distinguish what's an event and what's a challenge, and why are events not challenges, and so on and so forth. It seems simple on the surface, but nothing on WikiTree is simple. So basically, when we talk about events on WikiTree, we're talking about like our virtual community gatherings, something like the WikiTree Day, the WikiTree Symposium. We have an upcoming event in, correct me if I'm wrong, Azure, August, called WikiTree Games, which is very different than anything we've done before. So keep your eyes out for that, and you'll get updates as we get closer. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then to distinguish from events like that, we have challenges, things like our quarterly challenges. We've been doing 3 Connectathons a year and 1 Sourceathon, and those happen in January, April, July, and October. So we do those every quarter. Those are a blast, and we have one coming up this weekend. If you haven't signed up yet, get on out there to G2G. We'll show you how to find it in just a little bit. One thing, Azure, do you want to show them the what's happening G2G post?
Sure. So every
month.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Nope, you do it.
Every month, Eowyn has a post out on G2G, and I believe it's pinned in the feed, in the G2G feed. So it'll show up right at the top. And she shares what's happening around WikiTree for that month. So
and it is huge for July. I don't know what's going on with July, but we have so much happening this month. I mean, scroll down. There, she had to do a comment at the bottom because it was too long and we were running out of space.
Yep.
Yeah, so she had to go and put some extra stuff there.
And from each of the month's posts, you can go back and forward. She has it down here. See also June or August. So
yeah, that's up. Scroll back up to the top there, and it shows at the bottom of the main post. She's got a link there where you can click back and forth. Where did it go?
It's right here. It's down in the comments.
Oh, she moved it. So okay, got it. Okay. See, I had to ask her to make room because I had to add a link to something, and it was just too long, so we had to expand a little bit. But
just so much happening.
So you can, yeah. If you go to G2G this post every month, there will be a fresh one. It'll be at the top of the list in yellow, the pinned posts, and you can always find out what's going on and how to get more info. So keep your eye out for that. Another way to stay up to date on our challenges is to follow the challenges tag, and you'll notice that shows up on a couple of posts there that are pinned. The tags are the little green banners that you'll see on G2G posts, and then those are topics that people can follow on their profile. So if you go to your profile, you'll see. I'm going to have to refresh my memory here. If you go to your profile and go to My WikiTree, nope. Oh, wait a minute.
It's under.
I need to get out of G2G to find what I'm looking for. Sorry. So if you go to My WikiTree and nope. Where is the following link?
It is under add followed tags.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. I swear that moved from where it used to be. So yeah, you can always add tags to your own followed list on your profile. And that way, when you get your newsletter once a week or your activity feed every day, the activity under those tags will show up in your email. And that's one great way to stay on top of what's happening with all the challenges that go on. So let's talk about some of the different types of challenges that we have in an ongoing manner. Actually, we started something new and we're calling them pop-up challenges. And pretty much anybody can do a pop-up challenge. These are just kind of short efforts that you would like to have some help with. An example is, oh, can you scroll down? Oh, the Siblings Day.
Mm-hmm.
Where, I can't remember who hosted that, but on Siblings Day, you know, the Hallmark holiday that was created. People focused on adding siblings to their family's profile. So a lot of us like to just go back, you know, by generation on our direct line, but it's always good to go out too and add siblings to your ancestors, because that might find some more connections for you and you'll learn a lot more about your family if you do that. And if you're not connected to the big tree, that's sometimes the best way to get connected into the big tree.
Yeah, those collateral lines. Adding those collateral lines.
Right.
So those are.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, and so we've had a number of those. We had one focused on the Titanic. I think the most recent one we have right now is focused on Australia. The Australia Project put one out, and I can't remember the acronym for it.
NAIDOC?
NAIDOC, yes, thank you. And they've been, I'll let you pop in there and you can show us.
Yeah, there we go.
So, there we go. The Australian First Peoples, they're working on adding profiles and families for the First Peoples of Australia and documenting those. Excuse me, I had a little frog. So you'll see under the challenges tag, you'll see these pop-ups coming up every once in a while. And they really are just, like probably a last minute effort that somebody wants some help with or thinks would be fun to work on with another group of people. So try to pay attention for those and see if there's anything that interests you and dive in. And I also wanted to mention, here's what I forgot to say at the beginning, Azure.
Oh.
Question and answer at the end.
Yes.
So we'll make sure we pay attention to your comments, and we'll come back and cover those when we get done here. So pop-up challenges are just a lot of fun. I remember, it's been a few years ago. I did one before we even talked about having them, but I just was working on making sure that the cemetery categories had the info box at the top, because that was kind of new. And so I wanted to get all of the cemeteries in Illinois covered. And I just went into the cemetery project and I said, hey, who wants to help me do this? And I swear to you, it was less than 12 hours, we had them all done.
That's awesome.
It was so much fun.
That's awesome.
It was great. It was really great. So if you have something that you'd like some help with and it's just overwhelming, that would make a good pop-up challenge perhaps. Some other challenges that we have happen every week or every month. Some examples of that are hosted by the U.S. Black Heritage Project, and they've been working on some connecting challenges. They do just a connecting challenge, which is almost like a mini Connectathon, but it's just for their project profiles. And they've also been connecting notables that fall within the U.S. Black Heritage Project. So they've been doing that weekly, I believe. Is that right? Is it weekly or monthly, Azure?
I think they're monthly.
Monthly?
Yeah.
Okay.
The connecting challenge is monthly. I'm not sure about the other.
Okay. I think they also do a weekend sprint.
Yeah, they do sprints.
Yeah, their project members or anybody who wants to participate wants to come out there for the weekend and help add profiles for the U.S. Black Heritage Project. They've been very successful in getting a lot of profiles. And as some of you might or might not know, U.S. Black history is very hard to document, as you can imagine, because you get back to a certain point and it starts becoming very difficult to find records for that. If anybody watches Henry Louis Gates Jr. on PBS, you'll know that you get back to a certain point and names no longer exist on the census records. So you have to be careful, and you have to build your knowledge about, that particular family and where they were and who they were enslaved by. So it's kind of sad, but it's been a very productive project, and they've helped a lot of people move their ancestry back. So those are always good projects that's a good project to participate with. We also have something called the Weekly Data Doctor Challenge. I'm sure a bunch of you have seen that. And that's our data doctors go out and they just kind of focus on one aspect of the WikiTree Plus reports that come out, and they'll just focus on, for instance, correcting errors with rep tags, or finding parents that are too young to be parents and making sure, correcting the errors where those are connected wrong or something like that. They'll have a new challenge every week. So that's a lot of fun too. Another example is our sorcerers. I used to love doing the sorcerers. I haven't been able to do that for a while because of time constraints, but it's like a mini source-a-thon. So you go out and you find profiles that need sources and just start adding to them to make sure our tree is accurate, add more information. So that's awesome. We have the Saturday sourcing sprints. And again, it's like an extra mini source-a-thon. So you could just go out there and see how many you can get done on a Saturday. And that really does help. One of the things that I've noticed is that if you're adding valid information to a profile, and perhaps the profile manager has been dormant for a while, it might just encourage them to come back and take a look at what you've done and and it might help them to move. Maybe they're stuck and that's why they left, and they came back and found that you've helped them to advance their research a little bit. And that brings us up to our big quarterly marathon. So like I said, we've got one this weekend, the Connectathon. I hope everybody's signed up for it. You can go back to the front page of, you don't need to do this, Azure. I was just going to say on the front page of G2G, we've got the registration linked there. So you can sign up, leave an answer, and either Mindy or Cheryl Hess will come out and get you guys registered. And then you can pick a team, which is one thing we wanted to talk about. So first step, of course, like I said, you join up using the G2G post that's linked on the top of G2G. At that time, you'll pick a team. And on the help page, the Connectathon help page that Azure has up here, you'll see a list of teams there, and some of them are by region. In other words, by country or state or province. Some of them are non-committal. I don't know what to call them. They're non-regional, but basically they're just teams that just like to work together. One of those is the Tree Nuts. I have to brag about our Tree Nuts. That's one that I captain with Robin Charles. We have a lot of fun. And then Azure has the Western Red Cedars. So go out there. Oh, I see John Tyner is pushing the Irish team that I'm not going to try to pronounce. You guys need to get a pronunciation of that before the videos this weekend. But yeah, you'll want to pick a team that seems to fit for you. Go ahead, Azure. What were you going to say?
And that I always am so impressed by that Musty Dusty team that's on this list for non-regional, because they take care of those profiles that are pre-1500. So that's I always like to give a shout out for them, because that's a lot more involved. And so
yep, absolutely. And one of the great things about joining a team, well, there's a couple of great things, but one great thing is that it will give you a group of people, especially if you're new. You come in and you've never done this before, you've got a whole group of people there that can kind of coach you and help you along as you get started. And it's just a small little subset of members for you to talk to that might be able to give you some direction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always, it's nice to have some of us are a little more introverted than others, and it's intimidating to go out into the forum and ask questions. Maybe it'll be more comfortable for you in a smaller team group. And I think most of our teams have a Discord channel.
Yeah.
And if some of you are not familiar with Discord, it's a live chat environment, and we have our own server. WikiTree has a server on Discord, and you can, if you're not on there yet, there's a help page. It's just help:/Discord. You can put that in the URL for WikiTree, and you'll get instructions on how to go out there and get signed up, and you'll be added to the channel for your Connectathon team, and you'll have a live chat going on during the Connectathon, which makes things easier if you get stuck or you have a question about something. That's a good place to start. If your team does not have a channel on Discord, they should have a post in G2G, and your team captain will point you there. And that's another place where you can ask questions and get help. So it's always good to be connected to a team. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and if there's an area that you'd like to focus on that you see isn't being covered, you can always start a team.
Yep.
And there's a section on the help page for that too.
You might want to think about doing that long before the actual event, though. Today wouldn't be a good day to start a team since we're starting on Friday. But in the future, if you have an area that you'd like to work on that's not covered yet, definitely talk to Mindy. Mindy Silva is our challenge coordinator, and she'll help you get set up with a new team. And during the the quarterly funds, we have our LiveCast updates that we do every 4 hours, where a few of us will come out and get a little silly and give you updates on what's going on during the fund, what the stats are. We do keep score just because it's fun. We do want people to focus on quality over quantity, but it's still fun to keep track of what's going on and how many profiles are being created and how many connections are being improved. And we need to quantify, so we do that, but that's, we'd still like people to put those sources on. Let's see, what else, Azure? What did I forget?
The prizes that will be.
Yes, we have prizes. You can share about prizes. Go for it.
So every 4 hours during the video chats, the hangouts, we call them, there'll be a drawing for whoever's been participating to win either a t-shirt or a mug. I think it's a certain dollar amount that you can use on the store. So that's always a lot of fun.
And it's random. It's not based on how many profiles you've connected or anything. It's just random. Whoever's been participating.
Yeah.
Because, that's just the way we roll. We also have a tutorial for participating in the Connectathon. That is linked on the help page. Am I correct? Isn't that right, Azure?
Yes, I believe so. Just let me double check here. Let me go back up to the top and participation, scoring, fine print, where to work from. And here's the tutorial link right here. For further help, try this tutorial.
Right above the current scores link. So that, if you have never done this before, it would probably be a good idea to go out and watch that before we get started on Friday. We'll kick off at 8 a.m. Eastern on Friday for the Connectathon. We also did a tour back in April called All About Connections, which talks about why connections are important and how to improve what we're calling our CC7. The CC7 is basically the connections from your profile within 7 degrees around your family. So anything that's connected to you either by ancestry or by marriage, that's part of your CC7. And you'll see a little number up at the top of your profile that says how many connections you have. It's right under your name, and you'll see honor code signatory, and then over at the end of that, you'll see how many connections you have. So that's what we're working on improving. So if you want to focus on yours, inevitably you're going to help somebody else too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else? Go ahead.
The links for the CC7 tutorial is in the description of this video, and also I'm adding it to the chat just now.
Excellent.
And the link to the All About Connections tree tour episode is also in the description and now in the chat. So if you want to go check those out after this episode is over, then check those out, and whoever's watching after that, all that information is going to be in the description of this video.
Right. Azure's done a great job of keeping us all well informed. So let's see. I think we've covered everything at a high level. If you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask them. And I think Azure marked a few of them here that we can start covering. We talked about, I'm going to go ahead and take this out, Azure, if you're okay with that.
Sure.
Put us back up here.
Did we want to just cover real quick how to answer the post to register
Oh,
real
sure.
quick?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll add that back in for you.
Okay, so here is the post. So if you go to wikitree.com/G2G, you'll see right here near the top is the post for the Connectathon event challenge. And then if you go down here and this big green button, answer this post, is where you're going to want to click that. And then you just type in whatever team you want to join. And then go ahead and click add answer. And I'm not going to do that because I already answered, but that's all it takes to get registered for the event. And then once you are registered, you'll be given a shiny badge for the Connectathon.
Yay!
To show that you're
There
participating.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that badge will help you in Discord get assigned to the correct team.
Right. And it lets Alesh know that you're participating so that your score will count.
Yeah, so it's really important. If you want to participate, get signed up. I think the registration post is closing on Wednesday at midnight Eastern, I think. Yep. So definitely, if you haven't registered already, get out there and register. Even if you only do one connection, we love it. So
yeah, it's bound to be a blast this weekend.
Yeah.
Great way to get involved in the community. Oh, let's see what we're talking about over here in our starred posts. Nancy is giving us her. I just lost my vocabulary word.
Her vote.
Endorsement. Her endorsement of the challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, they are a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, and yes, Stephen makes a good point that the team that you sign up for will focus on a certain region. That doesn't tie you to working only in that region. As we know, our families all migrated from here to there. So you might start out in the Atlantic, sea coast over there, and then your family will move west. And so it's okay if you don't specifically stick to one, general area. But if that's what you prefer to work on, that's a good way to pick a team. Melissa is apparently on the Northwest Terriers. Good job, Melissa. And congratulations on your first Connectathon. I hope you have fun. Oh, let's see. We have everybody rooting for their team here. Susan is right. It's a great way to make WikiTree friends. How many of us have met other people through WikiTree that we've also now met in person? I know I have. Met a lot of cousins. Actually, Nancy is a cousin. Nancy Wilson out here in the chat is one of my closer relationships on WikiTree. We didn't know each other before we ran into each other on WikiTree. Here's an actual question. Is there a place where you can enter a first name and it comes up with other possible names to search under? I think I need a little clarification, Stephen. You want to search for everybody named, for example,
Mary Johnson?
Arthur? Or, yeah. You could probably do that on WikiTree Plus. You could search for profiles that have a specific first name. Our search facility on WikiTree, I don't think will give you. I think you have to have something in the surname field. Otherwise, well, let me give it a try. I'm over here, not where you guys can see. I'm going to search for the first name. Oh, no, it works.
Oh, he's saying like the variations for like the name Stephen, P-H-E-N-V-E-N, or Esteban.
I'm sure there are. Maybe somebody out here in the chat can give us some ideas.
I think that when you're adding a new profile, that if you put in Stephen Thomas or something, that's going to give you the different, if it'll show you other people who are named different spellings of Stephen.
Right.
I don't
with
know
like
if it'll show
STEVEN.
the different languages for the same name, but
the search does search for variations, but we don't have a tool specific to that on WikiTree. I'm sure there are websites that would give you variations. I think you'd probably just have to go out and Google for that. I'm hoping that maybe somebody's already used something like that and can chime in. But that's a great question. Our search facility does use a database that has variations. I cannot, off the top of my head, recall where it came from, but that's how you get, when you do a search on WikiTree for, Stephen Johnson, you would get Steve or Steven or whatever, or Esteban, like you said, variations. So I just don't know. We just don't have a tool specific to that search on WikiTree, but it is built into the search engine, if that helps.
So, and every month there's a YouTube broadcast that is called Ask Alesh. So that would be a really good question to pose to Alesh during one of those sessions. So I'm dropping the WikiTree G2G tag link for that. And so you can keep abreast of when those happen, because that's something to keep in mind for the next time that happens.
Right. Yeah. And those also show up in that monthly post that Eowyn puts up too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what else do we have? Oh, here we go. Melissa wants to know, would uploading my Jetcom be a good thing to do for Connectathon? I am not a huge fan of Jedcoms, but I do know that people do that for the Connectathon. It is a good way to get all of your information into one place. You just have to be careful you're not creating duplicates. You'll work through the report, and if the profile's not there, you certainly can use the Jedcom tool to add it in as you go along. So yeah, you can do that. It's not frowned upon. I'm just not a fan of Jedcoms, but that's entirely up to you. You might want to load up a mini one in the next day or two just to see how it would work for you. Give it a trial run. That's a great question, though, Melissa. Thank you. And Susan wanted to remind everybody that there's no tracking button for the Connectathon. Alesh has some magic happening behind the scenes that will count the profiles that you add, the connections that you make. So you don't have to worry about that. You just get out there and start adding relatives. Stephanie says, could you do 5 underscores for the last name like you can in Ancestry?
I think she's talking about for a search.
Oh. I don't think so. I know a star in our search engine works as a wild card. So if you didn't know if it was STEPHEN or STEVEN, you could do STE with a star EN and get variations like that. And that comes in handy if you have a like a surname that's spelled differently throughout the ages. But the underscores I don't think are accounted for in our search engine. Stephanie, let me know if I answered that the way you expect. Asher, do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay. Oh, and Nancy wanted to specifically ask us to talk about our rockers. So we do have a monthly challenge going on. RAWK, R-A-W-K, stands for Random Acts of WikiTree Kindness. And this is kind of a new challenge that started this year. And we ask people to nominate other WikiTree members that they would like to kind of honor and have a group of people work on their ancestry. So watch for the different G2G posts that come up. We have one that comes up that asks for you to nominate people. And then the people who are running this challenge will go through and randomly choose, I think, what are we doing, 5 or 7 people?
Yeah, I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5.
So 5 people will be chosen from the nominees, and those 5 people will have the privilege of having the people who participate in the research work on their family lines and help to move them back and increase their CC7. So that's another type of challenge that we have going on. We have so many.
And again, that can be found by following that tag for challenges. It'll show up under that if you want to find it.
Yep. Stephen says he likes to use suggestions for the Connectathon, and maybe he can expand on that a little bit in the chat. Let us know how he uses the suggestions, because that would be handy to know. There's so many different ways to search using suggestions. Come in through WikiTree Plus. Azure, would you mind showing the help page for WikiTree Plus or the space page so that our people who are watching who might not be familiar with it know how to find it?
Sure.
It is WikiTree Plus is another layer on top of our database that Alesh has created. Alesh is another one of our WikiTree team members, and he's built an interface for our database that allows you to search in a lot of different ways and to find things to work on. As I mentioned before, we have the Data Doctor Challenge every week where they work on something new that comes out of the reports that Alesh creates using WikiTree Plus. So, Stephen, give us a little rundown in the comments about your favorite way to use WikiTree Plus to find profiles to work on for the Connectathon. Let's see if you don't. Oh, John was talking about the 5 underscores too in the last name field. I will have to try that. I've never done that before. So John, is that something that you use when you go up to the find menu and search for a person, or is that something that you've been using in WikiTree Plus? Just give us a little answer back in the comments there.
Oh, he says in Ancestry. The next
comment.
comment.
Oh, got it. Got it. Okay. Got it. Oops. Oh, let's see. Stephen also says if you don't know what to do, sometimes suggestions help. It finds abbreviation errors, links that might be missing, Dreadcom junk that you can work on, and so on.
Yeah, and the Connectathon Help page has lots of options for where to find what to work on. So there's a missing links app, which is linked here, and you can put in a profile ID and find out what the missing links are, like if they're missing father, or maybe there could be siblings, or it provides that information for you so that you can kind of go from there and fall down a rabbit hole.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and my favorite thing that you've got up there on the screen right now is the needs profiles created category. I always go hop in there. I actually set one up with my personal category, so it's like my own family profiles that I know I need to expand on. It reminds me to go back and where to start working, so those are handy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I always, because it's easy to fall down a rabbit hole and go down one side of the family tree, but you know that on this, maybe the father, that you want to remember to add the other siblings or children.
Right.
So you definitely add that category so that you remember to go back there, or that somebody else can go back there. And that can be done by, like Julie said, her personal category, so that she'll have that in her, so it's easier for her to find. But then you can also do it by location. So Washington or Oregon needs profiles created. So just something to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe pop through that to that category page? Just click on that link and show everybody what that looks like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so this is a maintenance, what we call, it's under the category, main category of maintenance categories. So it's just things that need done to certain profiles. So you can see that it's kind of broken out by some subject or location. So you can kind of drill down to wherever you like.
Yeah. I like to go through the North American link here, and then I drill down to the Illinois, because I live in Illinois, and that's where a lot of my family lives, Illinois, Indiana. And you could just kind of pick a state or go back and pick a different country where you know your family lived, and it might be kind of fun to go in and start connecting. You'll never know who might connect to your own branch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun way to find them. Let's see. We're coming up on 45 minutes here. We still got time for some more questions if you have them. If not, we can wrap up.
It looks like we do have some more comments.
Oh, good. Oh, yep, Susan, it's all automatic. Yep. You create a profile that's linked to an existing profile, then you score a point. And over the weekend, those will add up. And we give special kudos to the people who added the most and the teams who added the most. Like I said, the scoring is really just for fun. And please do make sure that you're, adding sources as you go along, and that you're paying, use some critical thinking while you're looking at the sources to make sure that you're connecting them to the right family.
And if you don't want to take the time to write a biography, there is a needs biography maintenance category that you can add to the profile, so that someone else can add that, or you can go back and add it later.
Right.
It's real easy now if you have the browser extension enabled to have an auto biography written. But if you don't have that browser extension, or you don't want to take the time to do that at that time, just go, if you can add that needs biography category, that would be great. Or if you are working on a certain section of the family, add needs profiles created so that somebody else can catch it next time, or maybe for the same marathon.
And since you mentioned it, the WikiTree browser extension, we just gave a tour on that in June.
Yeah.
So let's talk about tags again in G2G. If you go out to G2G and you look for the tag called WikiTree_tour or tours, I can't remember if we made it plural or not. You'll find the list of all of the WikiTree tours that we've been doing. And the WikiTree browser extension would be really helpful for the Connectathon. So you might want to visit with that and ask questions out there if you need help with it. It has a lot of really great features that will make things move along a little quicker for you.
And we did do back in April, you can see there on the screen listed, there was one we did all about connections. So that's talking more about connections. And here on YouTube, there is a playlist of the WikiTree Tours, all the WikiTree Tours episodes. So you can go back and watch those.
We do try to make it easy for you guys to find stuff.
Yeah. And take a moment, please, and give us a thumbs up, a like for the video. That helps us out. And even come back and maybe leave a comment on the video, so that that all goes to the good. That's how WikiTree, we keep WikiTree free. So part of supporting WikiTree is doing those things out on social media and trying to draw attention to the site.
Yep. The more people we get looking, the better. So
cousin bait.
We don't. Right. Cousin bait. I love that term. So I think that's about all we have for you guys today. We can wrap things up here, and we're really glad that you popped in either now live or later. If you are feeling overwhelmed or baffled by anything that we said, please post in G2G and ask a question about it. You can post it on the link for this video that's in G2G. And actually, I'll get notified because I put that post out there. So we'll get you an answer one way or the other. We don't know everything, but we do know where to ask. So
if we don't know it, we'll figure it out for you.
That's right. That's my motto. If I don't know the answer, I'll find it out for you. So really glad that you guys were here. And we will see you on Friday morning, 8 o'clock Eastern for the Connectathon. We hope you're there.
Bye, everybody.